Hi, America. Would you believe it, folks? Another week has gone by. So welcome to Dow's Weekly Digest. Folks, have you ever noticed that banner? Sometimes it appears behind my shoulder. And the way that Black Panther is focusing. To me, that's nature's way of showing me how to focus, which is our word for the day, focus. Now, we all have had situations in which we're just simply unable to pay attention. We give our very best, but it's simply not possible to stop the mind from wandering off. We engage in all kinds of exciting thoughts, but we do not do what we're exactly supposed to do. We lack focus. No one likes to admit it, but we all lose focus more often than we actually like to. Here are a few words on the subject. Lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24 hours. That comes to us from Zig Ziglar. When we lived in Fargo, my son Justin, in our backyard, and his friend Ben would take batting practice. And when his friend would miss the ball, Ben would say, "I've got to concentrate. I've got to concentrate." That goes along with this quote from Alexander Graham Bell. Concentrate all your thoughts upon your work at hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to focus. We need to focus. But before we go on with a further exploration of the word focus, let's enjoy a little Cowboy Wisdom. My Cowboy Wisdom comes from a cowboy on the TV screen. His name is Captain Gus McCrae of Lonesome Dove. And the quote goes like this: "The only healthy way to live life is to learn to like all the little everyday things, like a sip of good whiskey in the evening, a soft bed, a glass of buttermilk, or a feisty old gentleman like myself." That brings us to South Dakota trivia. And staying with the cowboy theme, here's a question. From which state did South Dakota's first cattle originate? Was it Wyoming, California, Nebraska, or Texas? Yes, they brought them all the way from Texas. You know, in 1897, they estimated that there was a total of 21,000 head of cattle in South Dakota. The 2000 census said there's almost 4 million head of cattle and calves in South Dakota. Oh, by the way, the population of South Dakota, of its citizens, 885,000. South Dakota trivia. And what does the book of Wisdom, the Bible, say about staying in focus? Let us look at the Old Testament. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 25. "Let your eyes look directly forward and your gaze be straight before you." And the New Testament, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. "Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightfully handling the word of truth." Focus. You know, there's a group of individuals that are coming together and they are truly focusing. I'm speaking of baseball's spring training. It has begun. One of my favorites was from the New York Yankees, Yogi Berra. Now, Yogi Berra, a catcher, used to talk a lot of noise. And I can appreciate that. One of my best friends, Ernie Pete, was a catcher. Now, Ernie not only liked to get dirty, and he got dirty, he liked to talk a lot of noise. One of his jobs as a catcher was to distract that batter. So part of Ernie's job involved saying all kinds of things. The batter's clothes, his shoes, his hats, his batting glove, you name it. He was bringing up offending things to that player, making even more fun of his batting abilities. The point for Ernie was to mess in his mind in order to take the focus off the ball. Now, one time, Yogi Berra was behind the plate catching, and the great Hank Aaron, he comes up to the plate. And the way it goes is Yogi tells it. He says, all right, the great Hank Aaron, ready to bat. Hank wouldn't say a thing. And Yogi continued. He says, Hank, you got the bat the wrong way. The writing's not in the right place, Hank. It's not in the right place. Hank didn't say a word. He says, Hank, you better look at that bat. Hank did not. He just concentrated. And the next pitch, Hank hit a home run over center field. And Hank then went around the bases, stepped at home plate, began walking towards the dugout. He turned around and turned back to Yogi. And he said, I didn't come here to read. Focus. Focus, folks. A premier carrier that I would like to focus on today is Prudential. So let's say you have a case and you're working with that client and you're focusing on their need and you're ready to proceed, and then you uncover their health history. How are you going to continue to focus on the client's need? I suggest you contact your internal wholesaler. And one of the resources, not all, but one, that they will go to, this life need, most likely will be Prudential. You see, Prudential focuses on underwriting. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go to the fmiAgent.com financial markets website. And now that I'm here, I'm going to go to Agent Tools and go to Sales and Marketing. And from Sales and Marketing, I'm going to go down to Products. And once that opens up, I'm going to scroll down to the premier carrier for today, Prudential. And I've looked at the news. Remember, I like the news. I'm going to click on to Products. And I'm going to go to Underwriting. So I'm going to use an example to open up that, to show you here today. So I'm going to go to the first term, Term Essentials and Term Elite. And I'm going to scroll down to Top 10 Underwriting Tools. So once I click onto that, it's going to open up and bring me these resources. And they're here to make our business easier. The first one that I'd like to scroll to is number 2, Underwriting Build Chart. So let's click onto that and look at that. And right away, I think you can see this isn't your normal, standard, simplistic chart. Prudential has created an in-depth chart that can be an underwriting tool for your internal wholesaler to assist you. Notice the tabs starting on the left side here that I'm looking at of from birth to 18 months. We have a guide. As we move across the other tabs, I see specific parameters that we compare with your client's build. Again, I think this shows how Prudential is focused on underwriting and how they're taking that extra step to make business easier. Now I'm going to go back to that top 10 underwriting and scroll down to the next one I want to look at, just an example, avocations. And here we find a guide that contains information about a proposed client's activities and appropriate supplements to use. Note that not only it tells us the possible classifications and preferred category, but along with that is the availability of writers, such as ADB and waiver premium. It lets me know. It lets me know. Now, you're going to have avocations that you have to deal with, and some that you won't. But notice the time that Prudential has done when they focused on underwriting as something, as you maybe don't come across a lot, as avocation. Another one I want you to look at on the top 10 is then entitled Best Case Scenario Guide. Here we see best case scenarios on medical impairments and vocational and avocational risks. With the assistance of your internal wholesaler, you can get an understanding of the best case underwriting scenarios for common medical impairments, as well as I said, those vocational and avocational risks. Now each condition, they start to tell us then the relevant reports needed. the critical information needed for the proper assessment. And then they move across to the best case scenario. And they also talk about, though, circumstances where Prudential would be unable to offer. Prudential has taken the time to focus and give brief definitions of even what they mean. When they say the word inquiry, ballpark estimates, best case scenario, they even give us definitions for that. And this, folks, is just a tip of the rock of Prudential. It's what your internal wholesaler has available for you as you focus on your client's health underwriting. I would very much encourage you to contact your internal wholesaler to explore the very array of resources available here. My communication tip for you on focus is this. The things you remember saying are different than the things others remember hearing from you. Keep that in mind. So be sure to ask for feedback and confirmation during the process so that both you, the sender, and the listener, you're focused on the same thing. Little food for thought there. The video I'd like to show you comes from Prudential, and it speaks of an element that many times takes us all off focus. It's temptation. Temptation is everywhere. But if we can just show a little restraint, we can enjoy much greater rewards in the future. And we can do it. This video of an experiment with some young ones helps us kind of look at that.
Going in here. We have a treat. Do you like marshmallows?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to have a seat? Let's get comfortable. The deal is, you can eat this marshmallow now, or you can wait until I come back and I'll give you 2 marshmallows. If you decide to change your mind, that's fine, okay?
I'm waiting.
Okay, I'm gonna push you in a little bit more. Oh. I'll be back in a few minutes.
You want to have 2 marshmallows? Yeah. Then don't eat the marshmallow.
Hey Lola, how'd you do?
Good, I was waiting.
You were waiting, good job. Here's your second marshmallow.
Thank you.
You didn't eat your marshmallow. Now, so you get another one.
That took a little bit too long.
I know, I'm sorry. Do you think your mom or dad would eat the first marshmallow, or do you think they would wait like you did?
Well, my dad would eat the first marshmallow, and my mom would patiently wait.
I think my dad would do it right away. I think she would eat the marshmallow. And I think she would try the best that she could to wait.
I chose to wait because patience is good.
Even though it was kids, folks, we've all been there. did that, and got the t-shirt. So you stay focused. You stay passionate for what you do, and you will enjoy much greater rewards in the future. And knowing this, GP for you equals G. GP for you equals G. God's plan for you is great. Just knowing that will help you stay in focus. And blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune by staying focused, for they shall be called insurance agents. You take care.